The Tennessee Titans just hired Brian Daboll as their offensive coordinator, and I think his scheme is a perfect fit for not only Cam Ward, but the entire Tennessee Titans offense. And I'm going to show you what I saw on tape in today's film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans. Titans fans, welcome in to another film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans, your home for Tennessee Titans X's and O's. I am your host, Tyler Rowland, 26 years as a Tennessee Titans fanatic, and I'm a certified film junkie who's broken down the tape on Sports Illustrated, USA Today, and hosted the #1 Tennessee Titans podcast, Locked on Titans, for 7 seasons. In today's film breakdown, we are going to take a look at Brian Daboll's offensive scheme. What Brian Daboll runs is essentially a modern version of the Erhardt-Perkins system, which is what Tom Brady and Peyton Manning ran throughout their career. In the pass game, the entire offense is based on concepts. Instead of having individual numbers for different routes, like you would hear a 9 route, a 6 route, a 7 route in the Air Coryell system, or rather than having to individually label everyone's routes like you see in the West Coast system, like the Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay's, where it's X spot, Z cross, flanker go. It's all based on words and concepts. So you could say China, and 2 or 3 guys would know exactly what you mean. You could run tosser, which is a double slant concept. You could run ghost, which is a vertical route on the outside and an out route. And you can run any of those concepts by name with any personnel grouping and any alignment. You could have 2 tight ends and a running back to one side. You could have 2 wide receivers and a tight end. You could have 3 wide receivers. But as long as you call out one specific concept, they're all going to know exactly what to do. This makes it really, really easy for quarterbacks to operate in the no huddle, up tempo, 2-minute, because instead of having to tell each individual weapon what their route is, you could just say 1 word or 2 words, and then everybody's going to know what they're supposed to do. And it's going to allow Cam Ward to use his greatest asset, which is his mind, to eliminate what defenses are trying to do, because with 1 or 2 words, you could totally switch the route concept on both sides of the formation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in the passing game how these route concepts are the same but can look different based on alignment and personnel. Also, we're going to look at the RPO game, which I think the Tennessee Titans need to do a lot more of with Cam Ward. Then we're going to take a look at the run game with Brian Daboll, who is very multiple with zone runs, with power runs, and then I'm going to show you how he uses play action off of all of those different runs to take apart defenses. And finally, we'll look at some QB run game, which I don't think Cam Ward can do quite as well as maybe some of Brian Daboll's past quarterbacks, but in short yardage and goal-to-go situations, 3rd and short, 4th and short, I think Cam Ward is athletic enough to execute those things. Very excited to dive into Brian Daboll's offense. Before I do, make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed for year-round free Tennessee Titans film content. I'm going to have a video coming out next week on Robert Saleh's defense, and then we're going to be doing deep dives into free agent options, draft options. So make sure, again, get subscribed, stay subscribed, throw a thumbs up on the video, throw a tighten up down in the chat. And with that being said, as we always do, let's step into the film room. As I mentioned in the intro, the key to the Erhardt-Perkins passing system is concepts. Everything is a concept on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. It's not about Z does this, X does this, F does this. It's not Air Coryell where it's run a 9 route, 6 route, 7 route. It's about a full package. So when you say 1 word or 2 words, you're telling multiple people what they're supposed to do. And we see that on display right here. You're going to have a vertical route by the tight end. You're going to have a flat route by the running back, and the wide receiver is going to come into motion and then come back inside and do a quick sit-down route right here. And this is with a wide receiver, a tight end, and a running back. Again, the motion comes back inside. The vertical route is going to impact this defender and pull him this way. The flat route is coming out here to influence this defender, and that's going to leave a little space right here for the wide receiver to sit down in. Now, Russell Wilson doesn't get this ball out, and it turns into a sack, but look at the concept, okay? Vertical route, sit down, flat. Should have been a completion, by the way. Watching the tape, It's no shock that Russell Wilson got benched. Now, we're going to see a similar concept right here. Again, right here, we have flat, vertical, and sit. Bang. You see that? And now, it's all about picking who's available, okay? If this guy isn't covered with the flat, he's open. This curl isn't here. The vertical route isn't here. Now, one thing to consider is this ball went to the backside, and that's why I think it's important for the Titans to find a winner, because Russell Wilson and Cam Ward eventually gets to choose. You know, if I don't like what I see, he peeked over there. Did you see Russell Wilson peek over there? Look, I didn't see it. I don't like it. It's covered up. Well, if I don't like any of that, I can come to my backside isolated wide receiver on the quick curl route right here if I don't like my front side concept. Easy money. It makes it easy on the quarterback to find a good solution. If you don't like what you have to one side, you go to the other side. But it's a similar concept that we just saw, and we're going to see it here. This time, instead of a wide receiver, a tight end, and a running back, you're going to have a wide receiver, and a tight end. And that's what I talk about when I talk about being able to run multiple concepts with different people. So this isn't exactly the same, but when you look at it, you're going to have the flat route from the tight end in the backfield as well. You're going to have the vertical route right here, and then you're going to have a curl route. So it looks different because the alignment is different. It looks different because the personnel is different. We went from wide receiver, tight end, and running back to wide receiver, tight end, and now we're wide receiver, tight end again, but from a different alignment, different position. So the best part about this offense is as long as the weapons, the tight ends, the running backs, the wide receivers, know what the route concept name is, then Cam Ward can just say coffee, ram, ghost, tosser, doesn't matter. As long as everybody knows what the concept is, you can be lined up in the backfield. You can be split out. You could be in a bunch with all three people in the same spot. You can have two-man concepts right here and a two-man concept right here. And Cam Ward can yell to this side and say, hey, change to this. And both guys will know just based on one word. And then he can look over at this side and say, change to this. And all three guys will know what he means based on one word. Rather than a West Coast system where you would have to say, hey, X, run a curl, F, run a slot crosser, Z, run a deep in. You don't have to tell everybody individually or say, Z, you're running the 8, or X, you're running the 9, or the slot, you're running the 6. You don't have to do that. It's easy to communicate these route concepts, and you can run them from different alignments and different personnel groupings. Again, it's just about picking what's open. Vertical route isn't here because there's a man over top and a man sitting here. Flat route is right here, but the curl route is right here. What's your favorite option? Russell Wilson takes the curl to Malik Neighbors. I don't blame him. Malik Neighbors is a bad man from watching this tape. But again, what we're going to see is a concept, okay? It's not about individual routes. It's about the concept. And look at the top of the screen. Did you see what just happened there? Did you see what just happened? Jackson Dart looks over, changes the play. The tight end looks over, changes the play. So Dart is saying right now, ghost, ghost. And what a ghost concept is, it's a two-man concept in the EP offense with a deep out route from the slot and a deep route down the sideline right there. And look at the Eagles condense in. They're coming in, so you know it's going to be there. And look, hits the tight end. It's that easy. Ghost route. This is a ghost concept. Ghost is an out and an up. And look, every different offense is going to call it different ways. They're going to have different names for their different concepts. But this, in my experience and from my research, is mostly called a ghost concept. Hits the tight end. Easy money. Just take what the defense gives you. And we're going to see it here. Another ghost concept. Remember last time, the tight end was flexed out, okay? But this time, the tight end's alignment is right there. But you're going to see the same thing. Out route, deep route, ghost. And the cool thing is, if Cam Ward's in 2 minutes, if he's in up tempo, he can just change it. If they have ghost called on one side, but the defense is in a position where it doesn't look like ghost is going to be available, Cam could just say coffee, coffee, tosser, tosser, ram, China, whatever he wants. He can change it based on what he sees from the defense. So it's going to allow Cam Ward to win with his mind, like we talked about in the intro. And there it is. There it is. Deep out route, vertical route. Pick what you want. Throws the vertical, and what a great catch, man. It's really, really nice attempt on the ball. Really nice attempt. I mean, whew, wow. Now, what I want to show you on this one is two-man concept. Doesn't matter if it's two wide receivers. Doesn't matter if it's two tight ends. Doesn't matter if it's a tight end, a wide receiver, whatever. It's the concept. And here we're going to see a slant with a flat. Okay? And it's just about picking what is best. Hits the slant. Should be a catch. Ends up a drop by Theo Johnson, the tight end. But this is a good ball and a good route. Boom. Right to him. That should be a catch. Okay? And then we're going to come here. And again, little nuances. Look at the motion. Look at the motion. All right? Now, instead of a running back and a tight end, now we're talking about a tight end and a wide receiver. We have a flat route right here, and this wide receiver comes in on the slant, and smartly little adjustments that you can make, because all of these routes have different options to them based on what coverage you get. But instead of running the slant inside more to the defense, wide receiver just chooses to sit down. But again, similar concept, run with a motion, bam. And Cam can change these anytime he likes, and instead of telling multiple people what their new responsibility is, one word gets it done. Now, I just threw in some extra pass plays here because look at this formation change. Again, you have the tight end over here and Malik Neighbors right here. Now, Malik Neighbors is their breadwinner in this offense, and they want to get Malik Neighbors with a one-on-one matchup. Right here, he's crowded. There's a lot of people right here. But if we can flip this alignment, and again, it doesn't matter where people align or who they are as long as they know the concept. So Malik Neighbors and the tight end can easily flip spots. The tight end knows, oh, we're running this particular concept over here, so I'm the inside guy now in this concept. I know what I'm going to run. And Malik Neighbors flips over here, and he knows, hey, if I'm on the backside isolated, I got a vertical route. And that's exactly what they do. So the ability to flip your formation, change your personnel, no matter who's out on the field, no matter what grouping you're in, they're going to know exactly what to do. They get the matchup they want. Malik Neighbors one-on-one on the backside. It's cover 4. The safety bites in because he's worried about the strong side trips, and it leaves a wide open for Malik Neighbors to win vertically. Boy, do the Titans need somebody like Malik Neighbors to execute this offense. But just great design by Brian Daboll there. And again, the offense that they're in allows for that to happen. We got another excellent play here. Not quite the concept theme that I've been going with, but I had to show you guys this. They're going to have a motion, which is away from the formation. What that's going to do is that's going to spread out the defense. Look how it spreads out the outside corner, okay? And because the outside corner now has to pay attention to this guy, it's going to allow Wan'Dale Robinson, who I think the Titans should seriously consider in free agency, to have a free run vertically up the seam, up the numbers, and it's a touchdown. So the motion influences the defense. Again, whether it's concepts, whether it's the motion and the shifts, Brian Daboll's offense, perfect for Cam Ward. He's going to be able to use his mind, his greatest asset, to dominate defenses however he sees fit. Now I want to talk about the RPO game, because Cam Ward ran a ton of RPO in college, and then the Titans really didn't do as much RPO as I wanted them to do. They picked it up later in the season after Brian Callahan was gone, but they need to plus this and be one of the teams that run RPO the most in the NFL, and that's what I was hoping for when Cam Ward was drafted. Again, didn't come to fruition with Brian Callahan, but I'm hoping that Brian Daboll, who is one of the most RPO-heavy offensive play callers in the NFL, 12% RPO rate, one of the top rates in the NFL. I'm hoping he's going to do a lot of this with Cam Ward, and we're going to see an RPO right here where the quarterback can hand it off to the running back. That's the run option. Or he can throw it, which is the pass option. RPO. Run, pass, option. And look, there's some confusion here. RPOs are different than read options, which we're going to look at later when we talk about the quarterback run game. An RPO in the NFL is either handing off to the running back or throwing it to the wide receiver. In college, sometimes they'll mix in a third option where the quarterback can take off and run, but the only time that really happens in the NFL is if the quarterback decides to throw it and then the throw isn't there, and because the offensive linemen are already downfield, you can't throw the ball or it'll be a penalty, so the quarterback just has to take off and run. That happened to Cam Ward a couple of times this year, but again, just a quick curl RPO. See, the offensive line is firing out to run block. For the offensive line, this is a run play, which is what sells it to the defense. Pulls everybody up, and you have a clean window to get the ball to your playmaker. Again, the Titans need a yak threat like Malik Neighbors that can catch the ball and make a guy miss. But that's just one version of the RPO. Here's another one right here, a little RPO bubble. All right, so you have the option to hand off, or you can hit the bubble screen right here. And again, Wan'Dale Robinson, I think could be a help for the Titans. All right, I know that we have Chim DK, but DK is more of a vertical slot receiver, where Wan'Dale Robinson is more of a quick yards after catch type player. They have different skill sets. Easy money. And see, look at 27. 27's peeking. He bites on the run fake just a little bit, and that leaves a 2-on-1 situation. Cam Ward will dominate in these, and it's just such easy money that it's going to be a big help to him. 27 takes that little pump fake in. Now we have the space, fling it out, get a good gain. Look at that. 2nd and 10, we're going to get 6 or 7 yards, set up for a third manageable. That's exactly what you want. And then again, the multiplicity of this offense. Anybody can do anything. Right here, we're going to have another RPO bubble, this time to a tight end, with another tight end on the field. So the Giants right here are in 12 personnel with 1 running back and 2 tight ends, but they're able to run RPO bubble screen. You know what I mean? Being able to do that. Imagine this to Gunnar Helm or Chigakonkwo, or if the Titans were to sign a Kyle Pitts or something like that. You know, like, these things could be incredibly deadly. And when you get the ball to a tight end like this, bam. And look at the rest of the defense. Look at everybody over here, because they have to deal with the fact that this is a run. The offensive line is blocking like it is a run. And then you have 2-on-2 right here, and the task of any ball carrier in the NFL is to make one man miss. But watch Theo Johnson drive through here and get a great gain. Pump. I mean, that's first down, and we're getting 10 yards. Look at that. That fires me up right there. Good stuff from the Giants, but that is going to be for the Titans. Now, very excited about the RPO game of Brian Daboll. Now, for this one, we're going to talk about what Brian Daboll does in the run game, because Brian Daboll's run game is very diverse. He's got zone runs, he's got power runs, and I want to show you just his zone run actions right now. This is simple shotgun inside zone, all right? Double and climb, kick out right here. Simple inside zone, one of the staple plays out of gun for Brian Daboll. Simple stuff. Not showing you guys anything that's groundbreaking. Now, here what we move to is a mid-zone run. And I want to point out one little thing here, one little wrinkle that's very impressive. What Brian Daboll does is to give his guard easy access to the second level. He puts his tight ends in the backfield here in a full house set. And instead of the tight end being here or both tight ends being over here, he's going to have them in the backfield, and what this does is now he can have this tight end be responsible for the backside 3 tech, and then his guard can get up to the second level immediately without having to make touch on him at all, okay? So it just makes it easier, because again, if the tight end was lined up over here, now this tackle would have to cross the face of the technique, which is a super difficult block, and the tight end would have to be worried about him, which again, that's head up. That's not that easy. You don't have good leverage, but doing it this way, the tight end has easy path to cut off the 3 tech, and Andrew Thomas, instead of having to execute a crossface block on Chris Jones, can now just kick out right here. Beautiful little wrinkle from Brian Daboll, using the tight ends in the backfield like a fullback. There he goes. Look at that. Easy kick, easy access to the second level, cuts off the 3 tech easily because of his alignment, and now, boom, seam. This is excellent stuff in the mid-zone run. Nice spin move by Tyrone Tracy, too. Sexy right there. All right, now what I want to show you is something Titans fans should be familiar with. It is the outside zone stretch run. And again, we saw a shotgun alignment with one tight end. We just saw two tight ends in the backfield in a full house setup. Now we're in 22 personnel. I mean, it's 13 personnel because tight end, tight end, tight end. But I mean, if this were a fullback, traditionally, this is 22. One tight end, two tight end, one back, two back, and this is just going to be outside zone, classic outside zone. And the use of tight ends in the backfield, expert level from Brian Daboll. Again, classic outside zone. This is all this is. Cross face, leverage block, get up to the second level, lead up through the hole, kick out here. This is just lead OZ. Bam. And Scattaboo hits the hole. That's the zone run scheme of Brian Daboll. Inside zone, mid zone, outside zone. Now we got to move to the power plays. And we saw this play on the goal line all the time with the Titans, if you were paying attention, with Peter Skoronski. This is going to be down, down, down. And then this guard is going to come to kick out right here, and it's just power, G power. That's all that is G power. And we saw the Titans run this a ton. But again, Brian Daboll has zone runs. He's got power runs. Kick out by the guard. Make one man miss. That's your job as a running back. Touchdown Giants. And the Titans are going to need a power runner like Scattaboo as well. Somebody who just hit the hole hard. And again, right here, another power run. This is just power G. All right. See the guard? Look, I'm telling you guys, I can't wait to go over the run game as the season happens because Brian Daboll does such great things. Typically, what you would want to see here is the guard would come all the way through here and lead. But because of the way Philly's front is like this, and the linebacker right here, Daboll makes a little bit of a wrinkle to have the guard just do a slight pull right here to pick up the penetrating linebacker. And now, whereas the guard would typically be the guy pulling and coming through. Now, because the tight end is in the backfield as the I dot, now he is functioning as the pulling guard, and this guard, again, can worry about the penetrating linebacker who could kill this play before it even started, because defenders are taught to key on the pull. If you see your guy pull, shoot his gap. Okay? And now this linebacker thinks he's going to have a free shot through the gap, but because the guard doesn't pull all the way and stops here, it cuts him off. And the fullback right here, who's a tight end, is actually picking up the guard slack and being the guy leading up through the hole. This is an incredible wrinkle and a variation of power. And now it creates a cutback lane because the linebacker overflows and Scattaboo hits it. Power. Here we go again. And there's a little counter play for you. The Titans ran this a ton too. You're going to have your H-back come through. This is GH power right here, okay? You're going to have your H-back come through to lead block right here. And then you're going to have your guard pull through and come through the hole. This guy's going to drop down and take on. This guy's going to come up. Bam. Not the most beautiful play, doesn't gain a ton of yards, but I want to give you guys an idea of what kind of run plays we're going to be seeing. Here's a little power toss for you right here. Motion, and Brian Daboll runs a ton of toss plays. Little pinch in right here, pin pull, pin them in, and then you're going to get the tackle and the tight end who came in motion running outside. This is a power toss sweep. Boom. Get down the sideline, nice block from the tight end. And this is why I'm not very high on Chigakonkwo coming back. The Titans need two traditional tight ends, okay? Brian Daboll doesn't play around with little baby tight ends like Chigakonkwo. He needs big-bodied tight ends like a Gunnar Helm, all right? So that's why I'm not as high on the idea of bringing Chigakonkwo back unless it's very, very cheap, because he simply cannot do things like this. And Brian Daboll's offense requires multiple big-bodied tight ends who could function as blockers. But again, we see inside zone, mid zone, outside zone. We see G power or G lead. We see power plays. We see the power toss. We got power runs. We got zone runs, multiple run game scheme, and that's exactly what the Titans need to keep doing. Now, what I like the most is the play action pass game off of the run game. So when you have this many runs in the playbook, you can fool defenses easily in the play action game because they have to worry about which run. Is this going to be power? Is it going to be zone? Is it going to be inside, mid, outside zone? Is it going to be, a trap play? Is it going to be a pin pull play? They have so many things in their mind about what run it could be. Sometimes they forget it could be play action too, and we see just classic zone run play action, outside zone, mid zone play action. Totally fools the defense. They're all bringing up here, and it's going to allow Wan'Dale Robinson to get behind. Boom, and now he's in a hole. You see that? Hammer it home. Big completion of about, 15, 20 yards. We're going to see it here again, another play action. This is inside zone. Okay, what you'll recognize is 84 right here. This is called split flow motion. All right, when you go, the idea is when you run inside zone, this tight end goes across the formation and picks up the backside crasher so that he can't crash down and get to the running back. But again, play action off of that. Make it look like that. Oh, the split flow motion fools the defense. Everybody's up thinking it's inside zone. And then you get play action opportunities behind it. Rip it to the deep corner. Bingo. Explosive, big time play. All right. Here we go. Another outside zone play action. They're running outside zone. It's not there. But look, all the attention from the defenders is so preoccupied here. Everybody's eyes are thinking outside zone. Hufanga comes up way too far, and it allows the tight end to slip past everybody. And here's the thing, Dart is super late on this throw because of the pressure. Outside zone, pulls everyone up. Tight end is releasing, okay? Look, his momentum all going forward. It's too late for him. It's too late, okay? Now, again, pressure in the backfield. I think Dart could rip this right now, quite honestly. He's looking here is why he's not throwing this, even though it's there. But the pressure comes. He's got to readjust in the pocket. Steps up. Fires it deep. Touchdown. All off the play action. Zone play action. Now, what we're going to see here is some duo play action. I didn't show you guys duo in the run game thing because we've talked about duo so many times here on the channel. It's just two double teams up front. Double team, double team, double team, double team. Duo. There you go. Inside run with two double teams up front. But the Giants play action off of this as well, a power run. Get a guy deep down the field, one-on-one. The safety was too preoccupied to be in position to help. Look at it up front. This looks like duo. Bam. There it is. 1-2, 1-2. Kick out, kick out. The defense is like, uh-oh, this is duo. We got to get up here. But it's not. And that's what play action is all about. Did you see the safety right here? Number 28. Did you see what he did? Oh, run. No, hesitate. Oh, okay, go the other way. Nah, you're too late. One-on-one, beat, down the sideline. Huge play. That's what the key to play action is. You got to make it look like the run so it fools the defense. And we get the same thing here. Look, duo. This is duo. Got a triple team, another double team right there. Kick out here. Right now, how do you know that this isn't a run play? Look at it right now. This is a run play, right? But what we're going to have is quick stop route from Malik Neighbors, and you got a one-on-one matchup out here isolated, and Russell Wilson takes advantage. Now everybody's getting back. Look, you see this defender right here? Look at the safety. Bites in. Maybe it's a linebacker. Yeah, it's a linebacker. But because he bites in so hard, boom. Now there's no way that he can get back and be in this passing lane. It's open. It's open. Boom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 10-yard gain. Get the drive rolling. Wasn't hard for your quarterback. Didn't experience pressure. Influenced the defense. Duo right here. Bam, bam. Showing you duo. But now we're here. Easy money. All right. Those are some power things. I want to show you how you can use the puller to also do some play action. So look, you see the guard pulling right here? Power lead, G power, right up here. But you play action off of that. You play action off it. A little counter action from the running back in the backfield. Bam. And now darts into a bootleg, just like we saw off the OZ runs. Okay? So you can play action and not bootleg. You can play action and bootleg. Dart dumps it off for an easy completion. Start the drive off good. Love the multiplicity of the run game is matched by the multiplicity of the play action game for Brian Daboll. All right, now let's talk about the quarterback run game, because Brian Daboll, whether it was Jalen Hurts at Alabama, whether it was Josh Allen, whether it was Daniel Jones, whether it was Jackson Dart, really utilized quarterback run game. Now look, I have been very upfront. I do not think that Cam Ward can run QB run game like, Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, Jackson Dart, Jalen Hurts. He is not that kind of runner. But Russell Wilson was able to execute a lot of these easy things, and I think Cam Ward can certainly do some of this stuff. This is just classic QB draw. They're an empty to spread out the defense, create 5-on-5 up front, and Russell Wilson gets a good game. Cam Ward can absolutely run something like this on a 3rd and short, or in the red zone, or goal to go. Gotta have it 4th and 1. Just easy quarterback draw. Nothing too complicated here. And look at Wan'Dale Robinson lined up in the backfield to influence the defense. Bam. And now we're up 5-on-5. Take what you can get. I would love a slide there if it's Cam, but nonetheless, again, easy peasy. That Cam should be able to run that stuff pretty successfully. More QB run stuff right here. So this is really just read option lead, okay? Now, typically you would see this in the pistol, the running back behind, and then the tight end right here would come across and kind of be a lead blocker if the quarterback does keep it. If not, he hands it off. But Brian Daboll just does a little bit of a different alignment, but it's the same play. This is just read option lead right here. And Dart hands it off. But look at this. He hands it off as there's double pullers right here, and everybody just follows it. Nobody pays attention to Dart going over here. Keep that in mind. Good run, though. People are occupied. You're worried about different things. But now, now we can see it from this angle, all of the influence. Right here, right here, right here. But these guys, they have to look at Dart, too. He's looking at Dart, and that holds enough for 2 pullers to go here, and then Scataboo to get right through. Just keeping people's eyes occupied. You see 56 right here, Karlaftis, this guy. All these guys are over here until the very last moment, and they realize, oh crap, Dart doesn't have the ball. And it's an easy, nice run for Scataboo. But this time, we see it in the traditional alignment that I was talking about earlier. And again, another handoff to the running back. And look at this guy screaming out here, Hufanga. Worried about, oh, I've seen this play before. I got to worry about the quarterback coming out here because there was a tight end lead block. And what does that do? Huge seam for the running back. So this is why Cam Ward has to run some of these plays, even if he shouldn't run them as often as those other guys I mentioned, because it just keeps the defense honest. Easy money touchdown. But remember, the quarterback can always keep it if he wants to. Bam. Now we're in the same exact play. This time we got a little motion. Read option, lead. And Dart keeps it this time. And he's out. See, Cam's not as fast as Jackson Dart, so I don't think he'd be as successful with this stuff from 20 to 20. I want to see this stuff in short yardage situation where Cam doesn't have to go too far, doesn't have to expose himself like Jackson Dart did this season. Like, they were running this stuff between the 20s. I don't think that should be the case unless it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, stuff like that. And Cam can just get the short yardage and get down. He can't run this stuff like Dart. But again, in the red zone, on the goal line, Cam Ward can 100% run this kind of stuff. And look, fake toss into QB power. This is GH power right here. Like we saw earlier, GH power, but with a fake toss and then your quarterback. Cam can run this on the goal line in short yardage. Beautiful, wide open, okay? Wide open. Look at the design here. Fake the toss. Get some of these guys out of the play. We're down blocking with easy leverage. Up to the second level. My guy, Kevin Byard. You got one defender right here. Kick out right there. Backside H coming through as a lead blocker. Kick out. Lead through. Easy touchdown. Cam Ward can run that stuff on the goal line in short yardage. 100%. And look at this. Little read option invert with the pools as well. These guys out of the play. This guy can't get there in time. Seal, kick out, lead block. Now, again, I would not run this with Cam Ward in this scenario. This is too far out. Jackson Dart's a better athlete. But nonetheless, I mean, this quarterback run game can absolutely get mixed in with Brian Daboll's stuff in the situations that I've talked about, and it can be very, very successful for the Titans. Cam is a good enough athlete to run this in the situations I described. Dart, man. Real good athlete, though. Got to stay healthy, though. That's the risk when you do too much of this with your quarterback, as Brian Daboll learned. Titans fans, I hope you guys enjoyed that film breakdown on Brian Daboll's offense. Zone run, power run, RPO, quarterback run, EP system in the passing game to use concept-based routes. Everything about it is a perfect fit for Cam Ward. It's going to give him total control at the line of scrimmage, and it's so multiple that defenses are never going to know what's coming next. Can't wait for the season. Can't wait to continue breaking down everything you need to know. If you want to know more about the Tennessee Titans, you want to be actually tapped into the film, the football itself, you got to make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed to the Tic Tac Titans channel. Very excited for everything that's coming. Throw a thumbs up on the video. Throw a Titan up down in the chat. That's going to do it for me today, folks. And as I tell you every single episode, tighten up.